everybody, how do you do? How do you do, everybody, how do you do? Oh, you come to gym for fun and we'll get you on.
Hi everyone, my name's Teacher Jade and this is the Little Gym at Home. Today we are talking all about our brain and body development. In these early years, our bodies and brains develop simultaneously and they help each other out. Let me give you an example. I have a spoon here. Your little one sees the spoon. They want to find out more about that spoon. So it's going to be the stimulus to encourage their body to move over there. Maybe it's going to bum shuffle, maybe it's going to reach out its arm so far and fall over because it is desperate to get more information. The stimulus was the spoon and it made some movement happen. Now when they've got the spoon, they're going to find out everything they can about it. They're going to touch it, they're going to put it in their mouths. So that is exactly how those two things link together. We're going to do loads of activities today that really show you exactly how brain and body move together. Now, for our first activity, you're going to need a couple of wooden spoons, 2 if you've got them. I'm going to use these sticks here that I have at the Little Gym. You go get yours and I'll wait here. Okay, let's start with a little bit of rhythm work. So, why don't you give your little one a stick? You have the other one so you can role model for them. I'm going to try and hit on the floor first. Maybe we can try and hit the sticks together. They might be holding them still at this point and you're making them hit together, but that's okay. This is a nice kinesthetic learning. They're seeing it, feeling it, touching it, hearing it, all of those things together. Great sensory experience. Let's get up on our feet. So we're going to use the stick as a bit of a walking aid. So you're holding onto the stick over your little one's hands, just a different way of getting them to weight bear. Forwards, backwards. Let me show you from the side. Backwards. There you go, take them all around the house like this. Well done. Let's get these senses in our feet woken up. So we're going to see if we can stand on the stick and roll our feet a little bit underneath, just like that. Testing their balance. Sensory input all over our feet. If your little one's not quite playing ball, you can always just roll it on our little individual feet. Nice bit of a massage as well. You can do it all over, we can do it on our hands as well. Just like this. But on our tummies. Little roll on our tummies. On our legs. On our arms. There we go, just like that. Let's see if we can do a bit of spinning. Spin it for your little ones, they can watch you do it. Maybe they'll have a try themselves. Maybe they'll try and stop it as they see it spinning. There you go. And now let's try one that I think you guys might have practiced before. Try our baby sit up with our stick. So, holding on, hands over their hands if you can. And remember, they're going to help you lift up onto their bottoms and to a stand. Lovely baby sit-ups. We've woken up all those senses and our hands and our feet with the little massage. Hopefully they'll be grasping nicely. And don't forget, if we're doing our baby sit-ups beautifully, we can go into a nice little hang. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! That's it. If your little one is not quite so little and is up on their feet, give them the stick, see if they want to go for a walk and tap along around the house.
Hi, it's Simon here. I'm going to show you some different types of carries you can do with your little one. Now I'm going to use Chewy again here, and one of the things we're going to be looking at, and basically coming back to that theme of as my body is going, my brain is growing, is as we put them into these different kind of carrying positions. So it's a bit like tummy time. So if you're ever struggling with having them in that tummy time position and they're getting a little upset, you can do different types of activities. And this will help develop that spine strength, that core strength. But also, as they then start to reach up and stretch up with their neck, it's that little connection between the base of their spine and the start of their brain, which actually helps with motor sensory neurons being passed backwards and forwards, so they really start to be able to coordinate their body parts as well. It's a really important part of their development. So the first one we're going to do is this little one, which is known as the sack of potatoes. So you're just literally putting them under your arm. Now if they're at the youngest age, you can have your hand just supporting under their chest. If you've got a little birdie age, kind of going from sort of 10 to 18 months, you could even come down almost to their waist. And what you'll notice is they're working really hard. You'll feel their core really active. And as they're starting to work, if they're dipping down a bit too much, just bring your arm a little bit lower down. If you find they're really able to hold that up and they're stretching their neck, it's going to be fab. And you can just take them for a little walk. And as you're taking them for a little walk around the environment, they're starting to experience a lot more. And also at a different height, a different perspective. So there's a lot more information that's coming in. So that's your first little carry, that sack of potatoes. The second one, a really nice fun one, is you're going to take them all the way up. Go all up on top of your head. Now, if they're happy here, you can hold them up here, just hold them around the waist, and you can do the helicopter, so spinning, a rotating one. So not only are they now having to extend, reach their neck up, and all those pieces I just spoke about, now they're also getting the rotation for balance as well, and eye motor control, so having to focus on objects as we're moving around. So I'm just going to put him back on top of my head, and we're going to spin him around, and you control how fast or how slow. If you're getting loads of giggles, you can go faster. If you're not getting so many giggles and are a little bit more serious, or if they've had something like Weetabix for breakfast and you're a bit worried about what's going to go down the back of your neck, then you can just slow down. Right, once you've had a go at that one, then we'll come up to our shoulder, and this is the fireman's carry. So you can already get an idea of, we may not like tummy time, but actually if we turn it into something a little bit different, a bit more fun, we've got all these different types of movements. So now we've got them on my shoulder. Again, I can take them for a little walk around. They're getting a different perspective. Now, rather than the one earlier where they were going facing forwards and looking down at the ground, they're now facing backwards, and they're seeing almost my body from a different perspective as well. So again, a different experience, different inputs coming in as they're doing this, but the same action and the same muscle groups are also being included. Right, now for something a little bit more extreme. So we're going to hold them in their upper torso, and they're still happy at the moment. Carry on. If you need to feed, or you need a little cuddle, go for that. But we're going to see if we can go for a little upside down swing. So I'm standing in a nice big straddle, just helps my back for this one as I do this. And I'm just going to drop them down, upside down, just hold them here, and then just gently, you can swing them side to side. You can swing them front and back, almost like a little bungee if they're a little bit more extreme. And also, you can control how high they swing as well as you're doing this. So for your youngest ones, it's probably just a really gentle little swing. For your older ones, especially if they're getting up to 15 months, especially if your back's really getting sore as well, you probably want to do just a couple nice big extreme ones. You can even turn it around so you can see them face to face and look in their eyes and get a big smile as you're going upside down and back. Now, from a safety point of view, again, this is really probably talking about sort of 6 months up when they're getting their neck muscles are getting nice and strong. If they're any smaller than that, you can probably just do something like just coming upside down, just holding them there, just letting them stay nice and stationary, and just gently bringing them back up, and that will be just enough for them to do that one. So have a go at these groups of skills. As I say, we're really, again, concentrating on developing that spine, the neck, and also being able to reach up and allowing that sensory information or motor information to be passed backwards and forwards between their body and their brain. So have a go. Hope you enjoy those ones.
Okay, so I've got my arts and crafts hat on a little bit here to show you things that you can make at home really, really easily to give your little ones a bit of sensory stimulation. So it's all about coat hangers. I've got a really simple coat hanger, and then I've used what I've got laying around just to make some different textures for them. So let me show you what to do. We're going to put your little one down. They might want to sit, they might want to stand, they might want to lay down. Bear is laying, so I'm going to go with that today. And you're just going to hold your little sensory coat hanger on top, just like this. Now, I'm starting with these ribbons because they are really, really light. So if your little one touches it, it's not going to take much force to make it move. It's not going to really give much feedback. Also, it's going to be quite hard for them to grab onto because it's so thin. So if their hands really have to grasp to hold onto it. If you want to, you can lift a little bit higher so that they can kind of work on reaching and grasping upwards and working on their depth perception. That is number one, just made out of some string that you might tie some balloons onto. Our next coat hanger, we have added some balloons. And this is kind of the next level because if they hit these, there's a little bit of feedback going on. So they're going to start to learn how much force they use to hit it and that it comes back again. So it's a little bit of a cause and effect as well. If I hit it, it's going to move and it's going to bounce around. Beautiful colours, of course, because we are talking about our brain development, and the colours are going to kind of stimulate those. Here we are. So the kind of next level, you see the balloons are quite big. So when they're reaching for them, they might have to use two hands if they want to grab hold. These ones, however, are much smaller and much heavier. So they might be able to reach out and grasp it with one hand. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but they might be able to do it. Leave it at a level that they can just about reach, so they do have to grab. These also will move. They'll notice that these bounce back faster if they move because obviously they're heavier. There is a bit of weight to them, so they're going to feel that. Here we've got some kind of glittery ones and matte ones, so they're going to feel that underneath their fingertips as well. A few other things you can make, honestly, whatever you have at home. So this coat hanger is some cardboard packaging that came in a delivery. We've also got some little balls and some cotton wool. This is going to feel really strange when baby tries to hold it. Also, we have dug the Christmas box out and had a little bit of tinsel. Just be careful, you don't really want your little ones eating this, but that is really shiny and reflective. They're going to find it really, really interesting to look at. Now, one thing you might be worried about is your little one destroying your beautiful arts and crafts you made. But if they do, that is actually all part of their learning. If they do manage to tug on this and pull the bauble off, they're really, really learning about cause and effect. They're learning that if I pull hard on that, it's going to come down and then I can hold it. They're going to work out how much force they need, how much power they need to pull it off the hanger. And I bet the next thing they do is try and put it in their mouth. They've seen it, they want to touch it, and then they want to find out as much sensory information as they possibly can. And with our little ones, that is often through their mouths. So get creative, have a little experiment, see what you can come up with at home, and I'm sure your little ones are going to have a great time.
Okay, for the next set of skills, we're going to concentrate on rotations, and that's going to be your forward rolls, your backward rolls and your log rolls. Now, you may have been practicing these, or hopefully you've been practicing these quite a lot at home, but it's always great to review them. And also, obviously, from a baby's point of view, that's the best way they learn, is just lots of repetition, doing them over and over again. And maybe you've just forgotten how to spot them properly or support them properly. So I'm going to take you through the different progressions for the different age groups. So the first one is going to be for our youngest age group, those 4 to 10 month olds. So at this age, your baby's just essentially able to either support their neck, or as they're getting older in this group, actually be able to actually sit up. Some of them may even start crawling. So we're going to start off, support them around their waist, around that upper torso, nice strong grip. And we're going to stand in a nice big straddle, as you can see, and we're just going to lower them down nice and slowly. And as you get down to here, you're going to keep your legs straight, just make sure your back's nice and straight, all the way through your legs. Make sure the head's tucked in, and just lower them down. And that's the first skill. Now I'm going to go down, we're going to do some skills on the floor. So now we're down here, we're going to do another couple of different types of rolls. We're going to start off with that progression up from the forward roll that we were doing just a second ago, and we're going to do a forward roll now on the floor. So if your little one is that 10 to 18 months, this is the skill for them essentially. So we're going to start them off on their feet, and we're going to sing them the little song to get them to do their forward roll. So it's going to be hands high, touch the sky, hands down, touch the ground. Now I'm going to stop there for you just so you can see that. Now what you'll notice is Chewy's in this kind of downward dog position. His hands are on the floor and his feet are on the floor. Now if you can get your baby into that position, it's going to be a really great position for them to do their forward rolls from. If you're finding their feet are already up off the floor, don't worry too much, we'll carry on practicing that, but that's the first position. So you've gone hands down, touch the ground, you're going to look at their tummy, so you just use your spare hand, tuck their head in and roll, and we're going to come back up and sit them back up just like so. Should we do that one again? So we're going to go hands high, touch the sky, hands down, touch the ground, into that downward dog position. Look at your tummy and roll. So that's your next skill, to do that forward roll, but really try and concentrate on those different components so you get that forward roll right. Now, next one is a backward roll. So laying them on their back. And we've talked about things like body part awareness before in these classes as well, and really starting to understand that these are my toes and this is my nose, and this is again a really nice one to show that off. So we start with this kind of nappy holding position. So one hand is around their feet, around their ankles essentially, and the other one is up in this shoulder pocket. And what it does is this one lifts and the other hand sort of pushes, and we make sure that there's no pressure on the neck when we do this. I'll take you through a couple of stages of this, because what you tend to find when you're first doing a backward roll is you really over accentuate the kind of movements, and we want to sort of get them to feel every movement as we do it. So we're going to go toes to nose, and on the third one, toes to nose, and over we go, and we're back round, and if we can, we're back round into that crawling position at this stage. Now what you might find as a progression for your birdies, as you're doing that, toes to nose, and over we go. You may even be able to get them back to their feet as well and get them standing up, and they'll just need a little bit of support. Now you want to hold them at that point, because what's happening is as they're doing this rotation, which is affecting their balance, they are still rotating. So if you were to let them go, they would just carry on rotating. So you're just allowing them to re-equalize and get back to that kind of stable position. And what will happen, the more you do these rotations, the quicker that will come. So just do another one for you there. So this one is going to be the progression step up, really seeing and breaking down those movements. So I'm going to get those toes to nose again, toes to nose, toes to nose. And as we go over, I'm taking the pressure off Chewy's neck, but you might just see that his head is actually still attached to the floor. And what that's doing is allowing him to feel that whole motion as he's going over and again back into that crawling position or back into that standing position, just like so. So that's those full range of motions for the forward roll and the back roll. And then finally, we do a little log roll. So a really nice one that you can do. Now, if you've got your little ones, you can do that partner log roll. You'd have seen this one done before, and you give them a nice little cuddle. You take the weight on your elbows and your knees and your rotation. But for this, I'm just going to show you the log roll. So for your youngest ones, you're just going to help them roll over from front to back. And again, if you've got a one that's learning how to crawl, learning how to go from front to back is really useful for them. If you've got one that's slightly older, you can just use this as a really fun exercise and see how fast you can start to get them to rotate. So you may start to encourage them to start with, but soon enough, they will start to roll by themselves. So those are your three rolls. You've got your forward roll, your backward roll, and also your log roll. And that's going to really help and affect their balance as they do these. So have a go at those. Hope you enjoyed them.
Let's finish with a song all together. You can get your little one to stand throughout this, maybe do a bit of jumping and dancing, get them involved. We're going to sing our Teddy Bears Picnic song as we have Bear here today. Let's go. If you go down to the woods today, be sure of a big surprise. If you go down to the woods today, you better go in disguise. 'Cause every bear that there ever was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. Well done guys, hope you really enjoyed today's class. Remember, when your little one's body is going, its brain is growing. My name's Teacher Jade, and this is the Little Gym at Home. See you next time.
It's time to say goodbye.